Happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's a nice night here. Just been out for a run. Another one. This is Zane Maxwell's Summer Ginger Honey Beer, made with his hot pillow. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh, looks pretty good. Oh, it's good. It's probably had the minimum carb time, so that's probably what's lacking a wee bit of head, but it looks pretty good. Smell the ginger. Smell the honey. Really good. Really good summer beer. Hops are quite mild, but I like them. They're quite good. I don't know how he made it. It's like a sort of lager. Honey and ginger in it. Honey's there, it's not too sweet. Ginger's there, it's not too dominant. Hops are just there. Yum. That's bloody good. Yep. Just a little more time in the bottle to carb up. But bloody top job. Okay, so last week I was telling you about my keg bottling system I was going to make, about to start to make. So I'm going to show you the bits that I've got for that in a minute. But before I start on that, it's time for a rant. I don't know what classification this beer would go under a beer competition. I think there's a beer classification for it, I suspect there is. I was talking to Paul Wicksteed about this last week, just briefly on Google Comments there, and because they're doing a competition about learning about the beer styles. And it's a funny one because I appreciate the beer styles, but in some ways I don't. And that's because beer styles are important if you're trying to brew something, to style, which is fine. But I think what they also do is they sort of hinder some of the creativity that can happen with beer. Some of the great beers of New Zealand, some like coming out of Yeasty Boys, places like that, Garage Project's another great example of it. They're unconventional, they don't always fit into beer styles. Pot Kettle Black's a classic example. That's New Zealand beer. It's just weird. It doesn't fit into any classification. Actually, as Paul mentioned in his thing the other day, I don't even think there is a beer style for Black IPA, which is a great beer. So, especially in New Zealand here, where we're a young country and we're trying to create some sort of own identity with what we do. I was reading the other day about this thing. It was we're talking about a recipe for a New Zealand Pilsner. And I'm just making one myself, which is basically, most of them it's Pilsner malt with Motueka hops, Nelson Sauvin and Rewalker. He's there now. It's nothing like a Pilsner. It's New Zealand Pilsner is not like a Czech Pilsner. It's just, why even call it Pilsner? Call it something else. It's our own unique beer. It's what we brew here. It's what we do well. If you go to Ireland, you want to drink Guinness. If you go to the West Coast of America, you want to drink, the great beers with the great distinctive style of the West Coast American beers. That's what you want to drink. So I guess what I'm talking about here is the beer styles. They can restrict people in terms of, coming up with their regional identity, and I think that's important, especially for a young country like New Zealand. You know, we're pretty much, you know, give anything a go. You know, we're throwing tamarillos, which is a type of tree tomato, in our porters. We're trying all kinds of wacky stuff. We're putting Earl Grey in beer. We're doing everything, yeah? Lots of hops and black beers, all that sort of stuff. So, I guess what I'm saying is I appreciate the beer styles, but I know a lot of competitions you have to brew to a beer style, but is that really where the new stuff lies? I don't know. Maybe that's part of the chef coming out of me, always wanting to do something new, something different. But you know, like we say here, you know, if you come down to where I live in the lower part of the South Island, you'll have a thing called a cheese roll. It's a very weird sort of a delicacy, and it's what you have down here. It's our regional cuisine. And just as such, if you were to come to Dunedin, you know, I'd quite happily go and get you a pint of Emerson's Pilsner, you know, the birthplace of New Zealand Pilsner, with the classic style that it has, which has been imitated right throughout the country, even by half-wits like me. So anyhow, that's enough on that. It's enough on beer styles. Yeah. Right, let's get into this this other thing, which is this kegging system that I've been working on. Buddy. So here's how it's going to work. Currently my bottle is set up like so. Regulator not quite working right because I knocked it and there's a couple of bars out. It doesn't matter. Right. In hindsight I should have bought a regulator with 2 outs on it, but I don't. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to put one of these in it. These are like quick release. This here just slides into here, doesn't come out. Then you just pull that up, out it comes. Reason for this is that I have multiple uses for my CO2 bottle. I use it to force carb my beer at about 10 or 12 psi. I use it to push beer out, so dispensing beer at about just a couple of psi usually for that. And the last thing I use it for, is for gas flushing and for filling my beer bottles. So it's 3 uses for the one regulator. So my thinking is, first project, it's going to be simple. It's going to be my first connector. So we'll just join onto that. And these here will simply go into 2 kegs. I could tee off another one and put it to a 3rd keg. That means 2 kegs can be dispensed at any one time. That's going to be my first project. Of note is the clips that I'm using. I just want to show you the clips. When dealing with gas and CO2 bottles, do not use these clips here. People will show you these clips. You just pinch the ends. They are prone to leaks and they don't have a perfect seal. I've been sold these before in New Zealand by some of the online stores. These here are the clips that you want. You just pinch the top and it's a solid seal all the way around. Perfect every time. That's what you want. The other ones are okay if you're dealing with liquids. Not such a big deal. So that's going to be the first one. Then the second part will be quick connect and using this device here. On here we've got a off-on switch. CO2 will come in here. Down here it will lead into the keg. Very simple. And then the keg will push out beer. Off this side here I'm going to attach another CO2 line. Ooh, like so. And come into here. And off that is just a simple little filler. And this is what I'm going to push into each bottle and CO2 flush it. And I'm just going to push this in, CO2 flush the bottle, and off the other outlet which goes into the keg, I'm just going to use, probably going to use a picnic tap. It seems to be what most people use these days. Picnic tap attached to one of these. I'm going to put it in and then I'm just going to simply fill it with that. So it's a double movement, it's not all in one. but I don't really bottle a lot of beer, so I don't really mind doing it. There are systems where it's just all in one, counterflow systems and all that sort of stuff, but this is double movement. I'm just set 2 in, get the oxygen out, put the other filler in, and fill it with beer, and then cap it. Double movement. So I've got all the bits and pieces, except I just need to buy one more of the brass connectors for that, which is a bit of a pain, so I've got to get those from up north. I don't think there's anywhere here in Dunedin that sells them. I have to have a look. And that's basically where I'm going to take it from. Okay, that's enough of that. We're going to get on to that next week. So, just before we go, what's happening? I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this to a documentary called Hockumentary something. It goes for about 15 minutes. It's fantastic. It's you probably already watched it. It comes up as recommended all the time. I watched it last week. Fantastic. It's really about the American craft beer scene. And I encourage you to watch it. It's bloody good. And I wish I could go to the pub. It's 60 craft beers on tap. Fantastic. Anyhow, you guys have a great Homebrew Wednesday, and I'll catch you next week with an update on how this is being built. Maybe have some working bits going. And yeah. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers, eh?